Okay, first episode, Moose. We finally got here. Yeah, just crazy, right? I think there's been a lot of talks around it, and we'll get a little bit into it as to why we even created this to begin with. But my name's Tony.
I'm Seamus.
And we are the Super Troopers. We're excited to be here with you guys. Our first intro episodes. We'll keep it light and fun. And we'll kind of give you a gist as to why this came about. Moose, how did this happen? I don't get it. Like, where did this start or trigger?
This started a few years ago when, I don't know, it kind of just organically through our friendship found out that we both have like a mutual love for soups. And shortly after that, I moved away to go to school up in Edmonton, and you happened to have some work that you had to do up there. And so you would come up and we'd go sit down for a bowl of soup and chat about tons of things, life, soup also. And then, yeah, it kind of started with that and in combination with talking to others about Twitch and what people can get followings for on Twitch and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's the craziest part is like there's so many podcasts out there, and when you see the excitement that someone has about a specific topic, you get like interested in it. It doesn't matter what the topic is per se, but if you have kind of that like expert type of vocabulary with what we're talking about, then you're gravitated to listen to more to it. And that whole Twitch aspect too, like I would say if we were to put kind of a timeline as to when we started to talk about this is like 3 years ago. And I say 3 years ago because it's almost 4 because last year was kind of a write-off. Like nothing happened in 2020. It actually kind of feels like it's 2020 right now. I constantly forget to put the one when I put the dates on my stuff. But when we were talking about it back then, it was kind of just like a running joke, right? Like we went from talking about it on Twitch, hearing people do like ASMR videos, which who knows, maybe that's what this turns into. Yeah, exactly. Slurp the soup, hit the spoon on the bowl, whatever it may be. And then it went from like just a topic to something so big. And it was overwhelming, right? Like we had people who knew how to deal with audio. We had people that knew how to create video content on YouTube. And it just felt like so much. So then this running joke became kind of a back burner idea. And then just most recent months or even days, I'd say, someone kept asking about like, you have the equipment, you have like the expertise with certain family members, like, why don't you guys just kick this thing off? And it's like, frick, like, why not? It just doesn't make sense that we don't. But there's so many different technologies that we can do things like this, where even during COVID times when we're not allowed to be in the same room, we can still create content, which is pretty sweet. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think too, like if just based on our listeners, let's give some insight as to who we are and what we're all about. So yeah, go ahead.
Sure, yeah, I'll go first. So like I said, my name is Seamus. I'm doing a combined Master's of Physiotherapy and Master's of Business Administration up at the University of Alberta. I've been doing that for the last 3 years. I'm going to be done in December this year. But most importantly, avid soup lover, ate it tons growing up all the time. When I was sick, that's what my mom would make. So I got really fond memories of soup. And yeah, that's kind of where my passion for soup started.
Yeah, I think for me, it was kind of a mix, right? So my name's Tony Jill. I work for a telecommunication company here in Canada. I am not in school anymore. I graduated a couple years back. And most importantly, like you said, it's this fondness of soup. In like even Filipino culture, a lot of the dishes that are made are heavy on the broth, or they just continuously add water to something just to make it a soup, which we'll have a little bit more of a conversation around what is a soup, but it's something that is comforting. It's something that is, helps you when you're sick. It's very versatile. There's so many places globally that has their own variation of what a soup is. And I think that's what interests me in it is like I love it. It's always what I gear towards or gravitate towards when I'm in a restaurant. And like you can't go wrong with a soup at all, period.
Totally.
Right. Yeah. So uh all right, like I think with this being in the first podcast and we want to keep it light and fun. We don't want to get you guys all in the thick of it with what soups are about. We'll have episodes about that, but what's the podcast going to be about, you think?
We're hoping to make it pretty educational. A lot of fun facts about soup. We're going to talk about, first of all, what is soup? Get into that a little bit. Like you said, can you just add water to something? Does that make it a soup?
I think so.
We'll find out. We'll find out. But from there, there's so many places you can go. There's so many different areas in the world that have soup, like you talked about. So there's a ton of exploring to do in terms of different types of soup, different ways to make soup. And personally, I've taken a strong liking to cooking recently, so I'm really excited to also try and make some of these recipes and see how that goes.
Yeah, I think with the different recipes that are out there, I'm excited for us to cook some things, test it out. We actually have some fans that are already asking us to test out their soups, which is pretty cool. So we're open to trying different soups, figuring out what the different ingredients are inside the soups. I also think too that we're all about supporting local. There's definitely some local communities that produce soups to be able to give back to their communities, which is pretty cool. So there's going to be a variety of different things, and hopefully, with this COVID craziness, we'll actually be able to have a bowl of soup together. That's like the wish and the hope for 20 and tail end of 2021. Who knows? It's a funny story. Like a couple of days ago, Moose and I and a few friends and family members, we actually went out to go have soup. We went for pho. And for those of you who don't know what pho is, it's a Vietnamese style soup. It's so good, like one of my favorites. And when we went to the restaurant, because of COVID restrictions here in Calgary, we all had to be kind of spaced apart. So we were having bowls of soups with each other, maybe about 12 meters away. And that's just the reality of what it is. So hopefully down the line, we are able to cook together, kind of have a meal together, do a critique about whatever it is that we're eating and kind of go from there.
Yes.
All right, cool. And just to set the record straight, Seamus and I, we're not dating. He's actually dating a family member of mine, and we've known each other for about 7 years, give or take. Yeah. But like Seamus had mentioned, I think our friendship kind of evolved a little bit more in the last couple of years just because of the visits up into Edmonton when I was working and so forth. So yeah. Okay, so with that being said, I say we put a bow on it. Again, because we're so rookie at this whole podcast thing, I think this is the perfect time to plug our handles. Moose, where can they find you at?
Main one will be on Instagram, Super Troops, soup at SOUPER Troops, and you'll see our logo. It'll kind of resemble us, so you'll probably know if you're watching this on YouTube. You'll know.
And what about if they wanted to follow kind of your personal handles as well? Where can they reach you at?
Personal handles, Shame Game 2.0. I made an Instagram account back in high school under that tag and lost the account, so I had to make a second one. So that's why the 2.0.
Gotcha.
Shame Game SEA.
Perfect. Okay, cool. And if people want to reach me, like Seamus said, our main account, Super Troops. You'll see it. You'll see the logo. That's us. For my personal account, it's just Goo712. We'll probably get into an episode as to why these types of names came about. But if you want to find us, that's where we're at. We also have a YouTube channel, which if you're watching this right now, you're probably seeing it on YouTube, which is just super_troopers. We'll have a bit of content also on Twitch, and we'll give you that information down the line. So with that, what's our outro here?
Our outro is getting soupy.
We're getting soupy. That's just the way it is. We love soup. We love you. Have a good day, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.